happy to and honored to be involved with this story. I joined the company in March. The company used to be called Canadian Ore Bodies, and it was founded by a gentleman named Don McKinnon. And for people with any sense of history around Hemlo, Don McKinnon was one of the two founders of the original Hemlo discovery. And he founded Canadian Ore Bodies and went off and did some stuff. And then he passed away from cancer, and his son took over and was building a story here and was tragically killed. And the company went into a bit of a lull, and it's been reborn this year. And we renamed the company back in May. And we have really moved this story along, and I'll get into kind of what we have. I'll skip over the forward-looking statements. You've all seen them. Our capital structure, as Keith said, is very tight. We've got 27 million shares outstanding. We do have some warrants outstanding. They are at a 70% premium to market, and I'm quite sure that they'll come in the money. Many of those are held by long-term, wealthy backers that continue to back the company. We have a market cap of 20 million bucks. And when I say big backers, Northfield Capital is the public entity of Robert Cudney, who his last big deal, he sold Gold Eagle to Goldcorp for $1.5 billion and made everybody a pile of money. O3 Mining, for those that don't know, is a subsidiary, publicly traded, however, of the Osisko Group. So they control about 37% of our stock. The McKinnon family remain big shareholders, and the other big shareholder we have in here is Don Ross. His book probably owns 10% of this, and management insiders own a fair chunk as well. So we're very excited, to bring this story forward. And if I show you a map of my project, I've got three main projects. I have what we'll call the North Limb project, and that's what we're most excited about this year. And I'll get a little more into what the North Limb is. The PIC project, we've worked there for the last 3 years. We've just been doing a compilation of the PIC project. We have about two parallel structures, coming in along 10 kilometers each, that go through the PIC project. And then the Hemlo West project was part of an acquisition we did from O3 Mining back in April. We bought this property package from them. And that property, we haven't done a lot of work on it yet, but we know that there's been a big compilation in it, and we are going to move into that probably next year. It's a great second project or third project that we have. So where we're really going to focus this year is on the North Limb. The value proposition, this is one of the richest gold camps in Canada. The Hemlo mine has produced 21 million ounces of gold, and that was last updated by Barrick in 2017, so they're probably over 22 million ounces. They've really recently announced some additional resources they found at site, and that mine's going to keep going until 2028. I will tell you that Barrick is watching what we do, and they're very, very interested in what we have. So if you look, in this map, you'll see the arrow here, or the star there, that shows where the mine is, and then you see that red structure there. That is our North Limb property, and it's only about 15 kilometers away, and we believe that the volcanic activity that created the Hemlo deposit has also created the North Limb deposit. So what we're expecting to find there. And if I keep going down, what we've done this year, in Q1, we did a small financing, $1 million, some flow through. Q2, I joined the team. I hired a very seasoned exploration manager named Dan McCormick. He's worked for Agnico, he's worked for Yamana, he's worked at the Osisko mine. He was part of the team that built the Queenston deposit and sold that off. So he's brought a lot of leadership into the geologic team. When I joined, we didn't have any geologists with us. So we've in Q2, we also did some work at the PIC project, and we completed an airborne survey that's given us some structure there in Q3. And I will give Keith a bit of credit for this. He chased me down to try to find some stock and encouraged me to go do a fundraise, and it was oversubscribed within about 4 hours of going to the market. You know, from my contacts and our big shareholders all participated. It was really quite well done. So right now we have completed a 3D model of the North Limb, and we have a fair bit of information about it. When I joined the company, I was told that this thing's been drilled off, because there's 66 historical drill holes going back to the 60s on this project. There was one intercept back in the day of 37 grams over a meter, but they've only drilled to 225 meters, and everything you see at Hemlo occurs around 500 meters. So we have developed this year an 11,000 meter drill program, and that's we're going to go down 500, 600, 700 meters and really understand the structure. A lot of that drilling has given us a lot of information with respect to, you know, where to go, the structure, and how to find what we want down there. It's very similar to the Hemlo gold deposit, as we've said. And what you see in between us, which is the south area here, is a large pluton, which, you know, tends not to be mineralized. But we believe that the rocks that form what we're calling the North Limb, all in this property here, is the same volcanic rocks that formed the Hemlo deposit. So that's kind of where we're going to focus our efforts this year. And the key, what we're seeing here, is age dating. What we want to know, and what we're pretty confident, we're just finishing it up now, is getting age dating done on our rocks. And if the age dating is the same as the Hemlo deposit, and we're talking plus or minus 10 million years on a 2.8 billion year old rock, that's really key to where we're going. So we have finished a 3D model. I'm an accountant by trade, not a geologist, so I can't get into a lot of detail about this, but we are certainly happy to take any questions as it comes along. And if you see, you get a size of the scale here. This scale here is 5,000 meters. So this thing is about 15 to 20 kilometers long, this structure. So we have lots and lots of scope. We are well funded. We've got, you know, $4 million in the bank. So we're funded to do a 10,000 meter program. We would like to do 15 to 20,000 meters here on the North Limb in the next year. So at some point, you know, we'll look to the markets again, but not in the near future. Very confident of being able to raise that money because we have these big backers that are, you know, are committed to stay in for the long term. I'm going to skip right down to I just want to go through our board and management team, because this is pretty key. As I mentioned, Dan McCormick, he's a well-seasoned geologist. Dr. Leslie Rose just joined us about 2 months ago. She's spent the last number of years working at Barrick's Hemlo mine. And when she walks our property, she goes, wow. She goes, you have the same rocks as the Barrick mine. So we know that we're on the right trend here at the North Limb. I'm also pleased to announce that I have a meeting with our new geologist who's joining us tomorrow. He's also ex of the Barrick mine. He spent about 20 years there, underground and above ground. John Harvey is the former president of Hemlo Gold Mines and Noranda Exploration. So he was here back in the day. He's about 85 years old, still active and still supportive of the company. Chris Hodgson is the former Ontario Minister of Mines and the president of the Ontario Mining Association. So he is also a great sounding board and great support in getting permits. And then Gordon Sear he's an owner, he lives in Vancouver, he's an owner of Sear Drilling out of Winnipeg. So he's going to provide guidance. And Mike Leskovic is the CFO of Nighthawk Gold and also of Northfield Capital, our major shareholder, and was present during the sale of Goldeo Mines to Goldcorp. We also have in our kind of stable of advisors, Ernie Eves is also on our advisory board. He is the former Premier of Ontario, and he's also was the finance minister. So he has great connections into the finance, into the Ontario government in support of Doug Ford. Key things to look for from us in the coming weeks. We are just finalizing our permit applications with the province of Ontario. There's two Indigenous bands in our area. One we have great relationships, one we have good relationships with. So we're very confident those permits will be issued. It's been really slowed down by COVID. We've not slowed down any of our work. As I said, we've got a fairly new team here, but very experienced in the area that are excited to begin the drilling program and get this going. We are finalizing the completion of our camp. It's being set up in a place called Manitouage, about 15 kilometers from the site. We've got core shack and facilities for people to stay at when they're there. We're choosing drill contractors, and I'm hoping we're going to be drilling in about 6 weeks. So as I said, look for permits to be coming from us, and first drilling to begin in November. We can drill year round here. There might be a little bit of issue at spring breakup depending where we are, but other than that, it's a place we can drill year round despite the cold weather. I'll just talk very quickly about the PIC project. We spent about 3 years there. We've had some sampling up to 109 grams per ton in very small intercepts. It's still a greenfield project, but we believe that going forward this is going to be a key asset. But that's kind of it's being worked on the side right now. The North Limb is our most strategic asset, and the reason it became most strategic, it was part of the acquisition from O3. We bought a number of claims from them for about $250,000 in shares. They got them through another transaction, and because they were already big shareholders, they felt it belonged in us as opposed to within theirs where they weren't going to use them. You're also starting to see this area heat up in terms of a gold play. There's a couple of companies that have begun drilling, and there's a couple of others that are going public actually as we speak. I spoke to one of the CEOs early this week about working together and maybe doing some joint venture opportunities. So I think I'm running out of time. My contact detail is on the bottom here. I can be reached anytime at brian@hemloexplorers.ca, and that's my cell phone, and I answer it anytime for shareholders, and always happy to talk to shareholders.